You ever wake up thinking, this is the day I finally get to relax, and by sunset you're wrestling an HOA president with a pry bar on your porch? Yeah, me neither. At least, not until I bought my slice of heaven up in the Cascades. I swear, all I wanted was a little peace, a place where the loudest thing for 20 miles was my old truck trying to start in the cold. But fate, or maybe just some cosmic prankster, had other plans. Turns out, building your dream sauna in the woods is all fun and games till a power-mad HOA queen sets her sights on your land. Let me back up a sec. 2 decades breaking my back in corporate construction, chewing drywall dust, and dodging office politics. And I finally snap. Cash out, grab a map, and point my pickup at the horizon. What I found was a 2-bedroom log home. Nothing fancy, but the bones were good, tucked into 10 wild acres, pines thick as a preacher's hair, river hissing just out of sight. Only downside. One edge butted up to silver birch hills, the sort of community where fences match, grass doesn't, and folks gossip about your mulch. But, and here's the kicker, my land wasn't in the HOA. Separate parcel, separate rules, signed, sealed, notarized, checked 5 times before I bought. First couple months, it's a postcard. I'm chopping wood at sunrise, sketching plans at night. The crown jewel? My own Russian banya, hand-built, cedar walls, wood-fired, the works. Not a nail out of place, not a code left unchecked. I hired my buddy from Oregon, a wizard with timber, and together we built it like it was meant to last longer than either of us. Permit, survey, even the hinges on the door, custom welded. It sat back in the trees, out of sight unless you were real nosy, which, apparently, some folks are born to be. Enter Karen Bartholomew. Yeah, the name fits. She marches down my drive 3 weeks in, rocking a trench coat, bleach blonde bob, clutching a folder like it's a royal decree, introduces herself as president of the Silver Birch Hills HOA, and tries to shake my hand like she's knighting me. Just wanted to welcome you and remind you we take aesthetic compliance seriously, she says, eyes sweeping the place like she's looking for violations. I tell her, that's real nice, but I'm not in the HOA. Her smile twitches. Well, technically, your lot is in our visual zone. I nearly spit my coffee. Yeah, well, I consider it a miracle if I'm up before daylight, but I don't make my neighbors do it. She drops a pamphlet, Guidelines for Exterior Structures, on my wood pile. Never even opened it. Winter drops early. First snow covers the BA in frosting. I light the stove, fill the place with steam, sit on my porch with a beer, and watch smoke curl into the pines. Life is good, till the next morning. Footprints in the snow, smaller than mine, leading right up to my sauna and back to the HOA. Fence. Scuff on the top rail, boot mark. Someone climbed over, and I had a pretty good guess who. Installed a motion light, dusted off my GoPro, figured maybe it was just a kid, but deep down, I knew. 3 days later, just past dawn, all hell breaks loose. Metal banging, my dog Moose barking like he's discovered Bigfoot. I throw on boots, step into the cold, and there's Karen. Halfway over my fence, crowbar in hand, flanked by 2 muscleheads in HOA jackets. Yeah, they had uniforms. One guy launches a drone. Karen's yelling about emergency compliance inspection, swinging that crowbar like she's on demolition duty. I tell her, this is not your land. She ignores me, jams the bar into the cedar door, splintering it. Moose lunges, I grab his collar, and one of her goons blocks my way. I pull out my phone, tell him I'm calling the sheriff, and he shoves me. Not hard, just enough to let me know he likes it. Old habits die hard. I twist his wrist. Like my Marine buddy showed me, plant him face first in the snow. Karen screams, assault. I'm dialing 911, her drone buzzing overhead, recording every second. Then comes the siren. Sheriff's SUV crunches up the drive, Deputy Ramirez out first, calm as winter ice, then Sheriff Whitaker himself. Big guy, bigger sigh. He sizes up the scene. Me, Moose, Karen with a crowbar. Her henchman on the ground. Goes straight to Karen. Ma'am, put the tool down and step away. She tries to argue about emergency intervention, but Whitaker isn't having it. This isn't your property. You're trespassing. Her eyes go wide, drone still buzzing. One deputy grabs it, another cuffs her flunky. Karen gets offered the chance to leave. She takes the fight instead. ranting about bylaws and aesthetics till Whitaker puts her in cuffs. They haul her off, her face glued to the window, hissing, "This isn't over. Your illegal shed is coming down. It's a banya." I tell her, "Look it up." Silence returns, snow drifts down, and I'm left standing beside my battered cedar sanctuary, hands shaking, adrenaline in my veins. What the hell had I gotten into? Next morning, I get a thick envelope from Silver Birch Legal Compliance Committee. Inside, a fake-looking map, stern letter about mandatory removal of unauthorized structure, threats of $65,000 fines, some nonsense about visual corridors. But their amendment claiming my land, dated after I bought the property. Amateur hour fraud. I take it to the county, meet Darlene in land. Records, woman with a red pen and a Rolodex, knows her stuff. She laughs at the map. "Honey, this is copy shop trash. County changes take a council vote, public notice, the works." The so-called inspector whose name they forged, retired 2 years ago, never worked code enforcement, just a good electrician. Darlene copies everything, hands me certified records, and points me to a county investigator. Spoiler, I file a complaint. A day later, real county inspector shows up. Harlan Davies, old school, limp in his step, no time for BS. We go through it all, real maps, fake maps, signatures. He spots the name on the forgery, R. Ellsworth. Turns out, he's Karen's brother, used to process zoning papers, got fired for getting too friendly with developers. Harlan's jaw tightens. "You want to file an affidavit?" I laugh. "Hell yes." Turns out, I'm not alone. Local historian Vince hooks me up with other border lot neighbors. Loretta, sharp as a tack, in her 70s. Pissed as a hornet. Doug, whose dad died. Hit with a $5,000 initiation fee for a house that never belonged to the HOA, all based on a fake map. A web of fake signatures, fees, and threats. Time to lawyer up. Ashlyn DeWitt, my attorney, mid-30s, fierce, former federal clerk, looks over my case, snorts, and says, "This isn't bullying. This is organized fraud." She fires off demand. Letters, pushes the county for action. An anonymous board member leaks emails. Karen's running an off-book scheme to annex border lots, boost fees, and shovel compliance contracts to her sons. Company. Yeah, her own kid gets paid to tear down neighbor sheds, build fences, all funded by forced fines. They even targeted the estates of dead folks. Real nice. We file a civil suit for $150. 000 damages, trespass, vandalism, fraud, attempted land theft. Karen countersues for emotional distress, claims I'm a military-trained threat. For the record, I once took a Krav Maga class. Left halfway through. Too many I gouged demos. Court's not buying it. Judge Lennox, 60s, no nonsense, tosses Karen's claim, fast-tracks our case. That's when my GoPro video hits the local news. Karen scaling my fence, swinging her crowbar, her goons fumbling, me calmly holding one down. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube blow up. HOA Karen goes viral. The pressure's on. Another board member leaks. More documents, payment logs, meeting notes, scanned emails. Karen's son's company got 90% of the contracts, most pushed through without votes, some right after elderly owners died. Sheriff executes. A search warrant on HOA offices. Karen in her mint green coat, arms crossed, watching deputies haul out boxes, computers, a duct-taped file cabinet. The prosecutor opens a formal investigation. Criminal trespass, vandalism, document forgery, racketeering. 5 more homeowners step forward, stories just like mine. Then comes the restraining order. Karen tries to flip the script. Claims I'm harassing her. My lawyer counters with a photo of Karen mid-pry bar swing on my property. Judge laughs her out of court. Karen vanishes from public view. Rumor has it she's hiding out in Arizona. Finally, the trial. Packed courtroom, neighbors, reporters, even TikTok live streams. Judge Lennox presides like she's waiting for someone to cross her. Our side lays out the evidence. Photos, maps, financials, audio of Karen herself bragging about preemptive correction. County jumps in with criminal charges, fraud, forgery, conspiracy. Lennox freezes Karen's assets, puts a protective order on my land. Sentencing day. Karen stands alone, drained, lawyer mumbling excuses. Judge reads out the counts. Criminal trespass, felony vandalism, fraud, conspiracy, forgery, racketeering. 17 years. 10 before parole. Karen's knees nearly buckle. They cuff her right there, the room barely stifling a cheer. HOAs dissolved, accounts seized, funds returned to victims. Doug gets his $5,000 back. Loretta's new pergola built by volunteers. Mr. Aldridge's shed replaced by local vets. My banya? Not just fixed, upgraded, reinforced, and now sporting a bronze plaque. Aesthetic Freedom Zone. Not a member of your HOA. Trespassing is a felony. Steam responsibly. Right below it, a photo of Karen in her orange jumpsuit, head down, reduced to a booking ID. Folks still talk about it. Not the sauna, the war. Local lawmakers called it Karen's Law. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my mug. Most days, I wake up grateful, steam, silence, moose snoring on the porch, and a lesson burned into cedar and steel. Around here, peace is something you build and fight like hell to keep. So what do you think? Was justice served, or did it just settle for a ceasefire? Drop your own stories, your thoughts on HOAs, property rights, or your wildest neighborhood feud down below. Let's hear what real justice looks like, one fence at a time.